So I went to Noosa police station straight away. I don't know what I was thinking to even just go by myself, not even to think about getting a support person. I remember walking into the desk and seeing the uniformed officer thinking, I used to be that. I used to do that. How the heck have I ended up in this situation?
It's hard for police to see themselves as victims when they've been on the other side of the counter.
And you notice the words that I used as well is, how did I get myself in this situation? So again, that blame of, this is my fault. I put myself there. I didn't protect myself. So imagine if I've gone in there carrying a sense of this is somehow my fault, then you're already on the back foot to then explain that this was something that happened to me. It's not something that I invited. So I said to her, I want to speak to a female officer.
Yeah.
Of course, then they know it's some form of, I guess, sexual or domestic violence. So I sat down and I explained to her what happened, and she went, "He did what?" And her response alone, and I said, "Is that bad?" She's like, "Caroline." And I thought, okay, this is not just going to be something that I can just brush off with give him a slap on the wrist, go around and talk to him.
Yeah.
So then she brought a detective in. And of course, I think being an ex-police officer worked in my favour, but also went against me, because I knew the journey of a victim.
Yeah.
I'd been in the witness box as a police officer. I'd been cross-examined. And as you remember, it's the most terrifying place to be. And I didn't want to go there. So I, gave a statement, but not a statement that was going to then lead into anything at that moment in time. I told them what had happened, and he went, "That's rape." I remember my whole body going, oh, and a part of me went, "Oh, this is serious now."
Okay.
Like, this isn't just a something that happened that I can just forget about.
Yeah.
I said, "Well, what now?" And he said, "Well, there's probably a high chance it would go to trial." So as soon as I heard trial, and I just went, I'm not ready. And I literally got up and ran out of the police station.
Because with your experience, you'd understand the nature of what a trial would mean, and the questions that would be asked of you, and all the things that would be put to you.
And already going in there going, this is somehow my fault. Well, that's what they're going to prey upon, as we know. Yeah. It's all about consent, one word against the other. And how can I go in there and prove that I didn't willingly ask for that? And the fact that I froze, how the heck do I explain that?
I can see why you're conflicted. Like, it's looking at it purely from an evidentiary point of view, it's a difficult one to prove. And you make this complaint formal, you're the one that's the whole case is going to rely upon your evidence.
So I left.
Yep.
And I went home, and I think it was a good few days later. Again, there has to be that readiness. Yeah. It's a process. It's not something you just go, right, I'm going to make a decision. So I went back in, and they all went, "We are so glad that you were ready." So I think the support that I got, because of course they knew my background. They could see that I was a credible witness when I explained what happened in such detail, and you don't make that stuff up. So I would say my experience with the police was second to none. They were incredible from start to finish.
That's great to hear. I like hearing that the police responded that way. And I think another thing, and people that have been in similar situations as yourself get further traumatised if once they walk into the police station it gets taken out of their hands. I think it's important that you, as a person that's been assaulted, has control of the situation, whether you want it to make a formal complaint, because otherwise it just causes more trauma. You have power taken away from you again if you think you walk into a police station you're not going to have any say in the matter, but you do.
And just by them saying that, look, you come back when you're ready, we're here waiting, means that you've got the authority.
Yeah.
And it's not, the longer you, imagine being told, the longer you leave it, the less chance that you're going to get a conviction here. They were like, we're waiting.
Yeah.
Come back. And I remember one of the heads of Noosa Police, the detective, he said to me, "We believe you, Caroline." And I can't tell you what those 3 words
That would
mean. And I think if there's anything that I wanted to go out and say to the public, if someone comes to you who's been violated, abused in any way, when someone says, I believe you, it's almost like nectar.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can understand. Going in there, and if you're being questioned about it and people have got doubts, that you've been traumatised again.
Completely.
Yeah.
And having to sort of relive it. But then you are sitting there going, if he gets arrested, it could go one of 2 ways.
Yep.
He either says I did it, which I really believed in my heart he would.
Yep.
Probably, again, that little naive part. Surely he's going to be honest. Surely he's just going to own up to it, because that's the beautiful heart in me that thinks people just tell the truth, right?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. And then another part of me is asking, if he doesn't, how does then that look for me and my 4 sons? I'm a single mom. You know, how would I navigate this while raising boys?
And I would understand too, there's a public aspect to it as well when it goes to court. That's, if it's in Noosa, in that area, you'd know a lot of people in the area, and this type of thing would become very public. Yeah,
it's a small community.
Yeah.
And I think I'm quite a private person. And going into a witness box and talking about someone violating, let's say, those parts of your body and having to talk about that in public it's not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah. Once it's been reported, you took a couple of days to go into the police after speaking to your a friend, and then a week to decide that you're going to proceed with it. What were the next things that happened?
Well, firstly, it's almost like I had this angel that was guiding me, because I remember closing my eyes and saying, there is absolutely no way I want to go through a trial. It was almost, if there was certainty that it would go to trial, I would have pulled out. There was every single part of me screaming, no. And then this voice came in and it said, what if you don't have to go to trial? It was, whether it's my mum on the other side, I don't know. And I just thought, what do you mean? And this voice said, just take the next right move for you. And that's what I tell my clients. Don't think about 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. If you take the next right move, the next door will just automatically open. It'll be the right door.
Yeah.
So it was almost like the message I gave my clients was being regurgitated back to me. So I said, okay, I'm ready. And then Brooke, one of the females, said, there's a possibility you could make a call to him and have a conversation and see if he'll admit it.
Okay.
And I thought, maybe that voice was correct. It's almost like I was being guided.
Yeah.
There was a bigger part of me or something above me that knew that. And I didn't understand that was ever a possibility. So there was a sense of relief that thought, okay, if he admits it, I knew then that the evidence for me would be so substantial it could then end up in a conviction. So I said, thinking it's the most terrifying thing I could ever do. However, I'm prepared to give it a go.
And you contacted him and got an admission? I
did. It was a spur of the moment thing. And I called him, and in order to get the confession out, I had to name everything that he did, which again was pretty scary. But I just thought, if I do it from the heart and just have a conversation with him and just ask him, I wanted answers, Gary. So I've got an opportunity now. Yes, I get it recorded, but I also get answers for myself.
Yeah.
Which was, why? Why me? I'm curious. And he said, I had a crush on you. And I said, I work in trauma and I work with clients, and we have a duty of care. If there's any sense of desire or feelings, if you keep that to yourself and don't disclose that, then you're taking away an opportunity for me to feel safe in your company. If you would have told me that you had feelings, there's no way that I would have undressed and got on that bed.
Yes. Yeah.
So he had these feelings way before that 4th session, kept it to himself, and in that moment, he swooped in and violated a body that was semi-unconscious, relaxed, fully trusting. And with the freeze response, it tends to happen more so when you're in a place where you assume trust. Because if someone grabs you off the street, people walking down the street, you might be a little bit, you can hear footsteps behind you, or you might look at a figure that looks, a little bit dodgy, and you're sort of semi-aware. Imagine lying on a bed or asleep at night next to a partner who you've said, I don't want to have any sex tonight. And you're already relaxed. So he swooped in a moment when I least expected it. So that's the most dangerous time, because it's someone familiar who you'll never, ever think will cross a boundary with you in that moment. So I got the confession. He apologised profusely, saying, my bad, I'm sorry. I named everything he did to me. And I said to him, I may never, ever enter a room with a male in this situation, again, a professional in a medical setting. You've robbed me of that opportunity. And you need to go on your own journey, and I need to go on mine. But I trusted you. And when you breach someone's trust in that situation, it can't not affect someone for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So that lasted about 4.5 minutes. We were meant to meet that day and actually see each other face to face. But of course, the call happened before, which was great. And he said, please still meet me. I want to make it up to you. He was panicking.
Yeah.
Because I think on that call, he wasn't sure how I felt.
Right.
And I got the chance to vocalise that and say, do you realise what you've done constitutes rape?
Yeah.
In that moment, his world fell apart. And I don't think it fell apart because he took any accountability. It fell apart because he'd been caught. So we put the phone down, and then Brooke, the detective, came in and said, that's the best recorded confession I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I realised that all of my police background, it's like it was sitting there waiting for an opportunity for me to make someone accountable, to have a voice, to be heard, and to do it in such a way that I had composure. I just put everything aside. It's like I was back in a role. I had a job to do in that 4 minutes, and I couldn't believe how quickly it kicked in, because after the call, the shake started.